So we're back again with the driving home for Christmas from Sweet Pea Design. If you've been following me and waiting in anticipation of the videos, I am so sorry. I am a bit behind. So hoping to get this done before Christmas. So we're going to crack on. So here I hooped the no-show mesh. I use this one because it's you keep it in, so it's nice and soft. I've popped my wadding, batting, or whatever you want to call it in. So we're going to stitch down now the first step, which is the just to secure the batting. So I'll do that now. Right, as you can see, the next step is the placement for the background. Well, you don't need that because obviously you can see where it's going to go. It's going to go over here. So I'm going to skip that one and go straight on then to the tack down. Uh, Obviously, I've cut around there for the wadding. If you don't cut around that, it's going to make you seem bulky. So in true Cheryl style, I don't read instructions, but I think Sweet Pea do cut round it. But obviously, you could be reading instructions. So I'm going to place my background fabric on. Like I say, you can stitch the number 2 part of it, number 2, but that is just the showing you where to place it. So the next one is the tack down stitch of the background fabric. Now, if you're following instructions, you will have cut all your fabric to size. But again, in true fashion of me, I don't. So I'm just going to hold that, and this is the tack down stitch. So this is step 3 that I'm doing. I'm just holding it like this, so it gives it a nice taut. Obviously, keep your fingers out of the way. Well, this is step 3. Now, step 4 will be those little ball things again. Can you see? So it's those, it's the quilting stitch. But because I've got some pattern to my background, it's this bit that's going to be doing. But because I've got some pattern to my background, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to skip that next bit. So again, I'm all for saving time here. I'm a right budget and scalper, aren't I? So the next bit then is putting your bit of road at the bottom. So what I'm going to do now is just trim round here, leaving a 1/2 inch gap, and then so I've trimmed around it as you can see. Step 5 is the line going across. So I'll just do that because well, I will with needle threaded. Don't I just love it when that happens? Right. So couldn't get around to the back because my embroidery on. That's it. So step 5 is going to go straight across there. Then step 6 is going to be that, sealing that in. So I'm going to do step 5 next, which is the stitch all the way across. And step 6 is going to be to seal that bottom bit. So I didn't explain. On step 5, you put your bottom piece right sides facing so it can stitch across. And then step 6, you're going to pull your bottom bit there, look. Finger press it if you can, like that, to make it tight. And then it's going to stitch step 6 across. Right, before I do step 7, which is the placement stitch for the car, I need to be trimming this out, this middle bit out, because this is where the car and the snowman's going to go. If not, it will add to the bulk. You don't have to do it, but you can see the fabric through it as well. Sometimes with it being, obviously, I'm going to do my snowman in white, the car in red, so you wouldn't see it through the car, but anyway. So yeah, just trim the inside of there before you do step 7. I'm going to do that now. So I've trimmed round as you can see. Just make sure you don't snag your batting wadding. I have done a little bit, but it doesn't matter so long as you don't cut through your stabiliser and your wadding because obviously it's going to be covered. So I've just done step 7, which is the placement stitch. I tend to do these in a different colour. You can just about see it. I've done it in a pale blue so you can see it to trim round it. So if you do it in a different, I don't know, if you do it in white, you're not going to see it. So step 8 now is the placement stitch of the car. So we're going to do that. Like I said to you before, if you followed Sweet Pea's cutting, what you call it, instructions, all your fabrics will be all pre-cut and good. You won't waste fabric. I'm a bit naughty, I don't. So step 8 is going to be the tack down stitch, and then obviously I'm going to trim round it, leaving a 1/2 inch on this side for the seam allowance. So now time to change your thread to match your coordinate or whatever, because it's going to do step number 9, which is going to be the satin stitch around here. So it's going to seal this bit in. So when you're cutting around it, make sure you've cut quite close, but be careful not to snip the stitching. Here it doesn't matter because you can see there's going to be some more fabric over the top, and neither does it matter there, but it does there and there. So we're on to step 9 of 27. We're on to step 10. So that's going to be, whoops, moving back into position. Step 10 is going to be the wheel placement stitch, I think. So let's have a look. Yep. So that is your step 10. So next I'm going to put my vinyl down and then do step 11, which is obviously the tack down stitch. And then I'm going to trim it. So all that. So off on with that. So we've just stitched out step number 12, which was the sealing stitch, the satin stitch even, around the car tyre. So the step next is 13, which is the little star motif in the middle of the tyre. So again, you don't have to be too fanatical about trimming this bit because fabric's going to cover that. But this, make sure you trim. But then again, Sweet Pea are quite generous with the satin stitch, so I don't know if you can see it. So it is quite a wide satin stitch. So I'm just going to rethread with a grey because I'm going with similar-ish colours to what they're using. You don't have to, you can go whatever colour you want. But I'm just going to do the tyre round here. So that's going to be step 13, the grey bit. So now we're on to step 14, which is going to be a placement stitch for wheel arch. Well, you can see where it's going to go. You don't need brains of, Einstein. So I'm going to skip that because I can. And then go on to step 15, which is the tap down stitch for it. So this is step 15. Just watch your fingers. I have got a tool that I can use, but tell them more. So that's step 15. So what I'm going to do now is trim all the way around because the next one's going to be obviously the satin stitch around it. So there's my thread now. So it's going to be doing the satin stitch around the wheel arch. This is step 16. Just be mindful on what fabrics you're using. I think I did say this at the beginning. Because this is going to be a wall hanging, so I've used whatever. But just be mindful, because otherwise, if you're going to make it like a quilt to put on the bed or a lap quilt, you don't want to be using delicate fabrics like this shiny one I've used here, because that won't withstand the constant washing, etc. So this is step 16, just doing the wheel arch round here. So again, step 17, I'm going to skip because that is the lay down stitch, if you like, the marking stitch where it's going to go. I don't need it because it's obvious because there's a gap. So I'm just going to fast forward it one, and then now I can put my snowman fabric on. So I'm on step 18 now. I've just trimmed around. I don't think you can, excuse me, see it very well. But I've just trimmed around the actual snowman, or you can now. The outline's in red. Really good colour for a snowman, but there you go. So we're on to step 19, which is saying, are the snowman's arms. So step 19, it's going to stitch out the little twig things here. Can you see? There you go. So that's step 19. On to step 20, which is the snowman's scarf. Now, they've got a red scarf, but I think I'm going to get a green scarf. Because I can. Oh, mind you. Should we go blue? Yeah, we'll do a blue scarf. I think we've got enough red on the cars. And also, we've got green coming up on the fern stuff. What do you call it? That wreath stuff here on trim. So I'm going to do a blue scarf. Not like breaking rules, is there? So there we are, look. We're on step 20, the scarf. Whoops. Now you see all the mess. You can see now we are on step 21. So the next bit is go around all the snow, around the snowman. I'm going to do mine in white. Pick whatever colour you want. But because I've got a pale blue background, I've chosen white. If you've got a white background, do either ivory or pale grey. So this is step 21. I'm going to start and do the all the way around here. On to step 22 of 27. It's the snowman's hat, as you can see. Is rat-a-tat-tat. It's showing it through. So I'm going to thread it up. I'm going to do it in black. So snowman's hat is the next. Whoops, I pressed pause. That is step 22 with snowman's hat. So step 23 is his carrot nose. So they've got it light brown. Never seen a brown carrot, unless it's manky. Anyway, I digress. We'll have a bright orange carrot. I'm still using sweet pea in credit threads. Obviously, they've stopped supplying these now, but they're really good threads. It's a shame. So this is step 23, and this is his carrot nose. This one here. So step 24 is going to be the snowman's eyes. So in black. So I don't know why we couldn't do that when we did hats, but I'm not a designer. But it does annoy me when I go to designs and they don't group them together because I am lazy. I don't like waiting. But thread changes. Impatient. Just realise he hasn't got a man, this snowman. Anyway, probably molted off. So that is step 24 done. So that's his eyes. So step 25 now is going to be this garland across. So we're going to do that in green. As you can see, it's stitched that green, what do you call it? Garland. God. So it's stitched the green garland lovely. So the last step is going to be, oh, excuse my arm, it's going to be the berries. So we're going to do the step 26. Oh, it's not last step. So what, there must be another step somewhere. Let's have a look. What's? Oh, there's going to be a snowflake to do, but I'm not sure I'm going to do that anyway. So yeah, there's snowflake here. Look, to do, but I think I'm not going to do that one. So this will be my last step. But step 27 is going to be the snowflake. But yeah, no, I'm all finished now because I'm not doing that snowflake. I don't want to. So that is my block. You can see it. But the step 27 is the snowflake here. But I haven't done the little bits of quilting, so I'm not going to do the snowflake either. So thank you for watching. And if you don't mind, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, and then it'll give you notifications when I do post videos. I know I've not been very good at lately, but there are some more videos to follow with this one because it's front of this truck to do. And then there's another two more blocks, two more, a car front and a car back, and then the stitching together plus the borders as well. So we're going to crack on.